Right, let's bring in our panel, shall we, for this evening. Former advisor to the Conservatives, Claire Pearsall, and Max Wilson, former advisor to the Labour Party. Thanks both for joining me. Let's start by talking about the ongoing claims around reform. I mean, it feels like, Claire, do you think that the Conservatives should have been more on the attack with reform sooner?
Yes, absolutely. I'll give you the straight answer that Mark Spencer didn't. It's one of those unsurprising things that Nigel Farage, leading a party, basing it on an anti-immigration stance, which is his main policy, was always going to be loud and brash and against the Conservative Party. He has made so many comments about how he would like to see the end of the Conservative Party. He doesn't rate them in any way, shape or form. So why anybody would tiptoe around saying, oh, we need to be nice to him, is absolutely beyond me. And this is also election time. Different parties are standing on different mandates, and surely you need to go out there and tell everybody why you're the best. Isn't that the whole point of what we do at election time? You want to tell the public, this is what we're going to do, we're going to make your lives better, not start looking at other parties and see if you can do a deal with them. I just think that is the wrong approach, and it's disingenuous to all of the voting public.
Did the Tories get too close to reform, Max, do you think?
I think so. I think when you were talking your previous a few minutes ago about Priti Patel dancing there and being Suella Braverman being open to for us joining the party, I mean, it seems a bit mad to me that in the short campaign you're actually entertaining the idea that your rival might actually join the party. But I think that represents a strategic challenge that the Tories have got, in that they would see reform voters as being almost their natural part of their natural coalition who have strayed from the true faith. So they can't go too attacking on reform because ultimately they need to attract reform voters and bring them back to the Tories. But I think that the comments that have come out in the last few days have been so utterly appalling that they've kind of done the hard work for the Tories, in that now they can point to them and say it's demonstrable that these people are racist and homophobic and horrendous.
Do you think this is a kind of, do you think Nigel Farage can recover from this, Claire?
It's difficult to see how. I'm not convinced that it's going to make any difference to those people who are those real dyed-in-the-wall reform supporters. They are always going to vote for him. But I think that those who are angry with the Conservative Party, and it's quite right as what Rob was saying, that those people that are angry with the Conservative Party who were flirting with reform are now going, actually, I'm not sure, that may have just crossed my line with Ukraine, and then with the latest racism row, that certainly makes them incredibly uncomfortable. But it isn't going to dent that popularity that he has with some people. And he has enlivened politics. Whether you love him or loathe him, he has brought in a certain dynamism to what was a pretty dull campaign. It doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean you can get away with saying these things. And what needs to happen is more scrutiny on the policies. If he really wants to be the opposition, then he needs to stand up and be counted, and he needs to have his policies looked at properly and not just ditch out of interviews because he's having a tantrum.
Yeah, it does feel like we're starting to see much more scrutiny on the Reform Party. And I feel like, I don't know if you think I'm right, but he's been trying to soften his image somewhat. I remember seeing this campaign video of him in a field with a dog. Do you think it's those kind of wavering voters that aren't necessarily your traditional Reform voters that are going to cause the problems there, obviously?
Yeah, I think the first couple of weeks of the campaign, you had shots of he's in the pub with his England shirt and all this nonsense, looking like a man of the people and all this nonsense. I think the Russian comments in particular, the way that he doubled down on those, I think demonstrates that he's almost going for a core vote strategy all of a sudden with reform. Similar to the way the Tories are going for a core vote strategy, reform seem to have as well. And so if you're going to do that, well, that's electorally problematic because you're diminishing your pool of voters. And then with these comments that have come out, not only are you going to have to even more rely on those, because any wavering Tory reform voters are now going to absolutely turn their nose up at reform and potentially going back to the Tories. So I think reform have got some real challenges. Whether it's going to be enough to actually make a difference in this election, I'm not sure, because the Tories are in trouble across the board, really.
Yeah, and I was looking at the demographic of the most undecided voters. I think it's women in their late 50s, early 60s. I guess those, and they're people that voted Conservative in 2019, those don't necessarily sound like Reform voters to me. I don't know what you think, Claire. It's probably people that Labour have got their eye on.
It's difficult to say, and it's always the problem with undecided voters, because I think a lot of the tribalism of voting of the past has gone. We all used to look at how your parents, your grandparents voted, where you lived, and you could extrapolate out. And I think that's very different. Demographics have changed, people's lived experiences have changed. I think it depends where they are in the country. So if he's going to go after all of the women, perhaps better not just always be in the pub with your football shirt on. Now, a lot of women do support football, but it's not quite the image you want. And I do think what you were saying just now about the video in the fields with the dogs, maybe he was looking to get a more female-centric vote. But unfortunately, the majority of the high-level individuals in Reform are men.
I think just to pick up on that, I think when you were talking about how nowadays the voters are more electorally flexible, they're more willing to try out different parties, it does work both ways as well. So if there are Tory voters who were looking to go Reform, now they see these comments and it doesn't take much to bring them back either. And I think that's something that these comments probably would have done.